Hello, my friend, wherever you are. I'm sending you love, the power of positivity, and vitamin D everywhere, everywhere.
I'ma do this shit until they murder me.
We're under a palm tree, but my friend, welcome to the Gazillionaires Club, and in this video, I can't help it but to talk about the Twitter files. Now, sometimes I get tired of just like going on Elon's Twitter account because all of these files that he shared from journalists, the one that's like that has balls, right? I get tired of reading them because, first of all, reading a Twitter thread is long, it's consuming, and a lot of these are just depressing. Depressing meaning that, like, how can the government collude with big tech? How can FBI, CIA collude with big tech? And then, censoring true information during COVID, and everything is just happening, like leaking slowly and slowly. I mean, if there were any common sense, we kind of saw everything. People that questions, like, why are people being banned? Like, shouldn't they able to express their opinion? And then, why did all the people that died from other causes were listed at COVID, even though hospital were getting paid? And then why did documents from CDC, quoted from CDC, were being banned? And then with the during the Trump era, you saw a lot, right? All the accusations, and any person with a common sense would questions. Con, all you do is woochie woochie wooch. That's all I'm hearing. But the thing is, nowadays we're so busy with making that paycheck, and then I was watching Candace Owens, and she gave a very it was like a study that they did, right? So what happened was, there, like, for example, there would be like 10 people in the room, and then they picked the one guy to do the test, but that one guy, he was like, he doesn't know. He just thought that like all the other people were like him. They picked him from the street, and they were just doing this study. And what happened was, in that room, there are 10 people, but there's only one guy that's being picked from the street. The rest are like operatives, if you will. And they show a picture of an apple. And then they went through every person, all the 9 people in that group, because they were operatives, right? They were saying banana, even though it's an apple. When it came to the guy that they picked from the street, they asked him if this is an apple or a banana, and he said a banana, even though it's an apple. And and I think society is kind of like that, because it's kind of like, if you say that that's an apple, you're crazy, And during COVID, that's what happened, and that's why I spend a lot of time, like, nowadays, I don't watch a lot of YouTube anymore, because I spend a lot of time exercising, working out, like try to focus on myself. But when I get news about the crypto space and Bitcoin, I go on Twitter. But Elon is running Twitter now, and then I'm like, okay, but then I don't read a lot of the threads, like, because a lot of the threads, like, people made video about it. So if you really want to follow what's going on, all of these are just common sense, but now there are just like hard evidence that are backing it up. And at this point, like, I'm starting to understand why people don't trust the government, even though in a perfect world. Because when we look at a tribe, like back in the days, right? I mean, you gotta have the elders, and you gotta have the warriors, to support the tribe, to go out hunt. And the elders are the one that we look up to, the chief. But how evolution evolved over time is no longer that way. It's like when anyone has a lot of power, they start to corrupt. And the reason, like, you don't have to go far to understand this. Observe yourself. You know, during my transformation, I've seen a lot of things about myself, especially the things that I wasn't aware of. Trust me, most humans are not aware of who they are. And the moment you go on a self-transformation, you're like, wow, I'm such an asshole. Wow, I judge people for me doing the same thing. I remember before I started my channel, like before I started my journey being on camera, I used to be afraid of the camera, right? Whenever I went out and I saw people with their tripod, like with the camera facing at them, I'm like, this fool, full of ego. I'm rich, bitch. Then I'm the same way, you know? And angry. I used to be angry. I mean, I still am. I still am, but I'm not as angry as I used to be, which is a really good thing. You know, but you judge other people. You realize that a lot of the things that other people do, you're able to see it from the outside, but when it comes to you, you're probably the same way. And, you know, when it comes to like absolute power, absolute corrupt, society has went far, far beyond what we perceive, because we always perceive that we are the good people. Even the corrupt ones, right? The corrupt ones, they think that they're good people. And but the problem with our government, you know, nowadays, there are still some good people in there, but they don't have a lot of power. But most of the people in there, they know exactly what they're doing. They're telling the same lie over and over and over, yet the same crimes are being committed. And so at some point, my friend, we need smaller government, because if you don't trust yourself, even as of this point in my life, because everything is about transformation. It's just when you go through a transformation process, you understand yourself better so that you don't be corrupt. And if you understand that part about yourself, why would you put that trust, that belief in other people? You know, and we've seen this over and over and over again. It's not like the first time that, you know, government started genocide. It's not like the first time government started a war with another country over power, control, or regime change. It's like, you know, you see, but the thing is, when you, instead of looking at instead of labeling it as government, I want you to start thinking about humanity. Because when you start going on a journey within and you understand yourself, you understand a lot of the things why people do what they do. And you know, and I feel like in order to solve this problem that humanity is facing, first of all, we got to go within ourselves, and we got to start educating people about honesty. Because like right now, the world that we're living in, it's corrupt. It's corrupt. And the reason why it's corrupt, partly because of corrupted people, but partly because of the system that we set up, the incentives, and how people with money and status, we tend to look up to them because they might be doing something right, because only stupid people are the honest people doing hard work, and they don't have any money. They're poor because they're stupid. We have to change the way that we perceive, you know, value, integrity in our society, because the way the you know, everything that's happening, it's not just one side, it's also how we, you know, we give them that power, and we have to redirect that power in the right way. What? Hooker and cocaine? I was just looking on the minute on the phone, because sometimes, you know, I had that issue, but it is working. So my friend, that is, you know, that is my and you know, the other thing is that the Constitution, at least I kind of noticed when I travel to Mexico. Mexico do have the Constitution. I don't know if they are the same as the United States. Costa Rica has a Constitution. But the Constitution in the United States, I mean, you know, with the first 10 Amendment, it's just, you know, smaller government and stuff like that. it works, you know, it works. But then at the same time, when we look at the system, it can be corrupted. So, but it just takes longer, and you know, we got to have that balance of power. And for the people that say Bitcoin cannot be corrupted, imagine it the same way. You know, anything can work. You know, anything can work both ways. Okay, but it's just harder. And we have something that is working, and we should stick with the Constitution. But also, we gotta change our perception of the people that we look up to. Just because they have money, just because they have status, just because they sign a book deal, just because they're on television, does not mean that we should praise them or look up to them. Because when you go into the closet, oh my God, these people are like the most horrible people on earth. And I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying that's how the system is set up. And if you want to play that game, you got to be part of the system. And it's just so bizarre to me, my friend. So that's what my take on it. You know, don't advocate for bigger government, because if you can't trust yourself, why would you trust in other people? And the people that are advocating for more laws, what if those laws ended up turning on you, right? And because when we look at all the cameras, when we look at privacy, all the cameras on the streets, we're like, you know, people are advocating for that. And then, you know, there's corruption going on behind those cameras. Sometimes they just want to make money, so they just randomly click pictures and make money. The corruption behind, you know, advocating for those bills, because the company that's setting up the cameras are making money. People are being surveillance, and the thing is, the people that voted for those kind of, you know, bill, they don't tell you that. They tell you, oh, it's for your protection. If there's a car accident, we can look it up. But really, when was the last time there was a car accident? They couldn't solve the case and they pull it up. Probably less than 1%, but whatever, you know. So my friend, instead of advocating for bigger governments, we should advocating for self. God, I can't think of the word, but pretty much like, you know, don't give your power to other people. Give the power to yourself. Go on a journey within. And because the way that I see it, you know, when we're talking about government, it consists of many branches, you know, executive, judicial, representative, judges, Supreme Court. And trust me, the reason why America is corrupt the way that they are is because a lot of these people were paid and they benefit off of the system. And that's why I don't trust anybody that is not going on a journey within to make laws that are for the people. Because when we look at people or society, the people that are breaking up the laws are the one that knows, or the people that are breaking the laws are the ones that know the laws, or the one that write and erase the laws. You know, regular people, like 90% is a good number. But the thing is, a lot of people have respect for government. A lot of people have respect for the laws, because as a society, that's how we live and we grow together. But the ones that ended up breaking the laws are the people within the government, the people that know the laws, you know? And that's why we should not give them that much power. Government should be small, and there should be check and balances, and there should be a way to keep track of what everyone is doing, you know? And it's just like right now, the corruption is so bad, they don't even try to hide it anymore. Like, you know, with the bill that they signed in, the ominous bill, or even with the Ukraine, the Russia, you see it, you know, the 9/11, the 2008, and the 2020, the COVID, it's like the corruption is right in your face. And if you still believe in government, my friend, I do believe that we should have a system where, you know, in place where everyone, where the law, the rule of law apply to everyone, not just for one group of people and not another group of people. So the Constitution works. We need the right people to uphold the Constitution. We need smaller government, and we need to hold everyone accountable. You know, the people, government, executive, whatever. When we have a set of rules, I need to say that word right, but when we have the rule of law, it has to be applied to everyone. Okay, so much love. Share me your thoughts. I would love to hear on it. Do you think that corruption is happening right now in our faces? Because I truly believe that corruption is rampant right now in America. I can't speak for other countries, but in America, it's corrupt to the core. And my friend, share me your story. I would love to hear. So use the hashtag Gazillionaires Club, and we will get this conversation going. Much love. Ta-da.